What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Something's happening. Is this just a flashback of what happened last time? Behind that door in the store... behind that door in the storeroom. Hurry! Yeah, I think it is just a flashback. Not Mr. Wind... Oh, and she's got the gun in her hands, yep. It's Gina! From that moment, Windy Bank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. And SUSATO never got to go to her meeting. I wonder what that would have been about.
Oh, it's me, Iris.
Oh, Iris!
A telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home.
Oh, yes. We asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back.
When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Jeannie were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Runo?
Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know.
Something awful has happened, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Alright. Sholmes' situation. Oh goodness, what happened here? Oh yeah, he got shot. Never mind, I remember. What happened to him? I don't know. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windybank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, yes, I had a feeling.
You did?
Well, I saw all of those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened in there.
When we entered Windybanks in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street, and I chased after them, but they got away.
So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windybank, I suppose.
I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment.
Oh? Why not?
They arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina.
Ginny? But why?
Well, the thing is...
No, Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know.
I know. None of us think she did it.
Then why have they arrested her?
I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. Alright. What's the SUSATO situation? Okay.
So where's Hurley then? Is he still investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals.
Yeah, he's investigating. Heaven. I mean, I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes as well. He was taken to hospital this morning.
What?
Well, when we entered Windybanks, a gun was fired and he took a bullet.
Hurley was shot? No.
It's all right. His life isn't in danger. Unless he gets an infection, because what are we going to do about that in this day and age?
Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital?
He's at St. Sinner's. Oh dear. They're tending to him there.
I must see him at once.
I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't.
Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed.
No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's invisible. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see.
To operate? Oh, poor Hurley.
Alright, well, let's just figure this out. It was the 2 thugs who were in Mr. Windybank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them! Go! After that, I ran out onto the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away.
Yes, you did. No. I think it's a very good thing.
Sorry?
Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Runo.
Wow, I hadn't thought about it that way.
On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that.
Oh, Iris.
Alright, Susato's condition.
Where's Susie, Runo?
She's still at the police station.
Oh, why?
I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while.
Why aren't you there, then?
Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Miss SUSATO stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later.
Ah, I see.
Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early.
Ah, nice.
You should have let me know. I would have come to the station.
Gina's arrest.
I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they?
No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris.
Ugh, this is all so horrible. Why isn't he dead? This is horrible.
The thing is, Mr. Windybank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles, and the storeroom door was locked from the inside.
I see.
But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well.
Oh no!
And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards...
Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room.
Yes, exactly. How did you know?
It's the only explanation.
Yeah. The only explanation indeed.
What do you mean by that, Runo? Well?
What can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on.
I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting.
I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder, but I don't want to leave her all alone here either. All right then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me?
Oh yes, I'd love to.
Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed.
And don't forget we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation.
I can see you're ready for action. Imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so would I. Okay, we got the hospital. Do 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 do. Oh, a nice crack in the wall. Classic. Oh, there's a couple of them. I see. Ward 3.
Hurley! Oh. He's not here.
No, and that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she?
Oh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home.
I'm not so sure about that. Baby or not, there's no question it was a fairly serious injury Mr. Sholmes suffered.
Oh.
Oh no, this is gonna be like either a doctor or a nurse, and I'm afraid of who they might be related to. What should I do?
Hello, hello. What have we here?
Nope, it's the police.
Hello, hello. What have we here? This ward is off limits. No visiting. So what are you doing in here, eh?
Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin.
Huh? Oh, well, begging your pardon then, ma'am, sir. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. The great mystery solvers, as a mysterious family, eh?
If that's how you see us, sure.
Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley?
I believe he's currently in the operating theatre, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation.
Extensive?
It has been several hours since he went in.
Oh dear, is he going...
That was Susato, for sure. I'm trying to differentiate them. Thankfully she's not here right now, but
Oh dear, is he going to be alright?
Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is.
Oh no, does he have like a tolerance to it or something?
Oh,
I've heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little bit too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Anyway, I think it'd be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet.
I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we'll leave and come back later.
oh, poor Hurley.
Alright, well. I mean, I kind of suspected that. Seems how he literally just said,
He's in surgery. Nobody can see him.
and then he was like, let's go check him out anyway.
This hospital feels positively ancient. I hope Hurley's in good hands.
Was that there the whole time? For, oh yeah, they've got like flavor text for everything. I've never noticed that.
You haven't forgotten to do something, have you, Runo? This place feels different to normal today for some reason.
I guess because there's police officers.
I love attic rooms, don't you? They're so exciting. It's always a bit quiet when Hurley's not around.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Ginny, we have to help her.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Now I have to do her voice, which is my worst one, but oh well. At least you still got your coat.
Hello, Gina.
Oh, blast you for what you've done. Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made.
I wish you wouldn't point it at me all the time, though.
What are you here for? Ginny?
I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking we might be able to help you.
Well, you can't.
Sorry?
You heard. Get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. You know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Put the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I can lay me hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny... I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be my lawyer for me or the like. Said he was my right or something. Well, I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one.
She couldn't be staring me any more obviously.
She tried. Cool. I like her face behind the bars. That's pretty funny.
Why are you being like this, Ginny?
A little zoom. Nice.
I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away?
He wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all going to be rigged anyway. The whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me, growing up in the back slums, me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers, or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it.
Snaffled. Good word.
You can't trust no one. That's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead.
Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could...
Forget it! Ginny? Don't you trust Bruno?
What did I just say?
Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone.
No, thank you.
Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbroker's.
There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and you know the rest. But why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing.
As opposed to literally yesterday, in-game time, where she was like,
Diving's my life.
Is that really why you broke into the place?
What?
Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else?
Oh, give it a rest. What would be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you, whatever it is. Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to lawyers, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
does she feel bad about the trial with McGilded? I have a feeling that might be what it is.
What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot?
Now, if I went and told you, what...
Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help.
Sorry. One at a time. They're going to want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by.
Ominous. Oh, it's the kitty. Actually, it's a different kitty.
A photographic print of a really adorable cat.
I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in the pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming by again. Bye. Oh, Ginny.
Alright, well. I can't remember what color the freaking ballerina's cat was, but please no. We'll see. Alright, well. I guess it's just the scene of the crime now. I guess I could have presented something to her. We'll see. Maybe I'll go back there later.
Well, you see this? This is a calendar. It's got blood all over it.
Thank you, Constable. Nice walk cycle.
This is where it happened then, last night.
That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables.
But, apart from the policeman in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance.
No, you're right about that, actually.
In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seems to be the ones doing the ransacking.
I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals, all dressed in black.
Oi, I heard that. Oh, it's me, it's Mr. Gregson, Spark, yeah.
Oh, Inspector. Good morning.
Suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
I thought you'd assigned extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy.
Gregsy.
Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty.
Your leadership. No one told me you were coming.
I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley, and see us the very best medical care.
Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak.
And I don't think it's Runo's fault the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job.
Well, he took his hat off. I thought he wouldn't have hair under there. Good for you, man. He's still got hair.
Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am, as you say.
Quickly puts it back on.
The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that.
Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change.
Now don't say that. You'll make me suspicious.
What are me manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship?
Oh my goodness.
Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice refreshing fruit juice?
Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy?
Well,
I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some.
Gloop, 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 gloop. Lovely. Thank you very much. It's the spot, your ladyship.
I don't even recognize him like this.
Yep, back to stern.
So, how's the investigation going, Inspector?
Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact.
Gina? You're going to charge her?
That's right. Like American football, you might say. Just charge right into her. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid.
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, aren't you?
How could you? No! How could you possibly know that?
It's these goggles, they let me see the future. I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me to never try to keep a secret from Iris. So, you arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you?
Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat.
And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison?
She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course.
Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition?
Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Well, I know he's being operated at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all.
Oh.
The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh no.
It didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that's enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down.
Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know.
Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. Gotta stop that bleeding.
But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better.
Of course, your ladyship. He'll be right as rain before you know it. Or else I'm gonna have to adopt you. Oh boy, no, that wouldn't do.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Because, of course, yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective. That's why.
We'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theatre.
Her ladyship.
I couldn't help noticing, Inspector.
What? Out of it, sunshine.
Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and the way you talk to Iris.
What's the sauce, son, eh? I'm a copper, and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently. You wouldn't happen to be racist,
It's because of those adventures at Sherlock Holmes stories, that's all. Oh. I crop up in them, don't I, Inspector Tobias Gregson?
Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
What did you write about the Inspector, Iris?
I don't remember, really.
It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson's the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, that's how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month my pay doubled! Doubled, I tell yez!
Oh, that's amazing.
All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Sholmes to change the tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to me salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Ronst magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
Glug, 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 glug.
Ah, lovely. Tell very much. It really hit the spot, your ladyship.
Teetotal. Total tea.
Wah wah.
Yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes? What is it?
I got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now.
An important message? I wonder what that could be.
Well, you're gonna have to select it in me dialogue tree.
Okay.
Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector?
Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she all right?
No.
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe.
Nope, not anymore. She had to head off.
Head off? Where?
To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He'd summoned her.
Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that.
One of the whipstops took her there in a yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service.
I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go to see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me, but I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away.
And definitely remember Lord Strongheart's voice.
I don't know, I'm gonna do something deep, I guess. SUSATO, please be alright.
Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Nah, that's just the British way.
Do you think this place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
That's because you're British. How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there.
And that's the British spelling of armor.
You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you.
So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust.
Yes, thank you very much.
There she is.
There they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I'm going to stand a fair bit different distance away. He's kind of scary. I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland.
Oh, wait. What did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san!
How long have you been there?
The birds.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about?
You're here! Now I can talk to you as well. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague.
What's this all about? Why are you talking about Miss Susato returning to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial? You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear.
Well, this is a bummer all around.
Miss Susato, what is all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has.
That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no.
Professor Mikotoba?
And I'm in perfect health, if I may.
Yes, sorry.
You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe.
Okay, I don't think I've talked about this in a video. Okay, so I actually got recommended a video recently of people reacting to the Great Ace Attorney trailer, and the good news is the person included my reaction to it, which is great. The bad news is I said Ryunosuke Naruhodo, and now every time I see it, I can't help but be like, say it right, or else, no, The good news is they mostly just call him Mr. Naruhodo. But, you know. When did that trailer come out over here? I think it was 7 a.m. in the morning. You can't really fault me, but I still do.
Ryunosuke...
now I'm doing it.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yumei University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker by the day.
I don't believe it.
As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Sato's departure as much as possible.
Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Gina's been charged? She'll have to appear in court?
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later?
Yep, that's right. Gina. The Stroud girl in the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too transpicious case. I don't know what that means. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Who are you? Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, Lord Strongheart?
In defense of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave now.
Okay. Do you know about Herlock Sholmes at all?
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters for which to contend.
Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
That's what I just said, but in my mind.
It is no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. Get out of my office. 3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me.
There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart.
Which is?
It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her.
A timely suggestion.
Sorry?
The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she might be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
I will crush you under my boot. Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused needs only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister would be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right.
Why would she do that?
A question you would do well to direct at her. You'll find her at the local prison.
Yes, thank you.
Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you.
I just realized he doesn't have like an overcoat, he's just got like a vest and like a poncho. It's kind of weird. What a day. Gina charged with murder, Susato-san about to leave, and Mr. Sholmes totally alive.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Miss Susato. That's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer.
Well, let's talk to Gina and then I'll end the episode. Oh, it's not highlighted anymore. What I was going to say is, hey, look, the two father figures both got, they're both ill. I wonder what happened to Miss Lestrade's father figure. She escaped. Oh, there she is.
Hello again, Gina. Why'd they let you keep a gun in prison anyway? I know it only shoots smoke, but still.
What are you lot here for now?
To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces again, obviously.
We've got you surrounded. I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look, you can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to y'all. Gina? I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell.
Farewell?
Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan, and I fear we may never meet again.
Oh, right.
I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it'll be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris, so miserable. Susie.
Well, that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they're so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
What? Now it's my fault?
Yes, so I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and right now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Eh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Jenny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That's my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial?
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted. The case of that mysterious murder took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is all about?
Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Will you tell us about it now?
Okay, we're talking.
Oh, it's gonna be a whole tree.
Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand.
And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it.
What sort of things did you lie about?
I wasn't hiding under the seat that night. I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubby hole. I couldn't see a thing. And then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you? Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to that dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at my hands, I had the cov's blood all over them. I was so scared, I couldn't even speak. You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were, why you were hiding under the seat?
Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the cops showed up.
Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about.
Oh, that was hard to figure out.
What you saw, what you heard, everything.
All right. Oh my God. Okay.
You said Mr. McGildy made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGildy sitting above your head, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true, but
Everybody's pointing.
it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. Mr. McGildy heard that and dragged me out by the arm, and that's when I saw it. I was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny.
A disc?
Do you mean?
Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Windy Banks.
So the music disc was there, on the floor of the omnibus?
No, okay. I was just thinking to myself, like, there was blood on that disc, but no, that came from Egbert Benedict.
Not for long. Mr. McGildy spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it in his inside pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bug trotter told me. I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one.
Well, he's dead, so, you know, totally dead.
'Cause it was so dark under that seat in the cab, I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin.
Presumably that was Mr. McGildy getting on board.
Nah, not only him.
Oh?
'Cause I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGildy and the victim.
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
I'll miss your little book.
In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGildy claimed he slept during the carriage ride.
Hey, I forget me voice, but I think it was something like this.
But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. And in your own testimony, Gina, you supported that. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring.
Alright, forgot about that fact.
Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGildy and the victim knew each other.
So McGildy was lying, as I suspected.
Sorry, I'm stretching. Okay, I'm good.
I knew it weren't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that a bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGildy told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The 2 coves from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right, and after they'd gone, Mr. McGildy asked the driver to do him a favour.
A favor?
Oh. I forgot about this guy.
Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take the coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas.
I didn't get to talk.
A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street?
Yep, you got it. It was at Windy Banks. The coachie snapped up the money and ran off to pop the coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. Mr. McGill up in the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see.
Conditions? Yeah.
What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling her so, not for anything. About what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah, this is the most important thing, he said.
Oh. How stylish suddenly.
I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all?
You asked him to go pop your weasel, right?
And pop goes the weasel.
Aye, that fiend's taking me overcoat to deposit with the pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right, and I'll come fetch it from you later, sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it till then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it.
Alright then.
And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windy Bank so it is, and you're to extend the loan afore 2 months is up. If ye forget, the article will be forfeited to any old fiend could come along and buy it.
But I ain't got that kind of brass.
He's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me...
Yeah, I get it.
Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt.
The coppers?
Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it you might say, and what is it that you won't?
Wow, good chat. Nice one, guys. Woo! Those ellipses are spicy.
And that's all. After he'd gone over it all, I piked it, got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the sign. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So Mr. McGilded planned it all, and coerced Gina into giving false testimony.
Murder wasn't enough for me. I needed some blackmail as well. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom, told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so he wouldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have... In an heartbeat, he could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where we gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice.
Everybody's sad.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
But I'm in for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favour? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night? Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? He's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he going to be alright? Sholmes is going to be alright, right?
That's why I want to investigate, for Mr. Sholm's sake as much as anything.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it?
Something like that. Miss Susato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer, nothing.
Okay. Okay, sure. Yep, that's fine.
Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely.
I mean, she's right here. She can hear you. I'm sure. Alright, well, we got the court stuff.
Well, at least this should mean we should investigate the scene at Windy Banks now.
Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there.
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windy Banks.
Good.
Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it.
Just bring Iris, it'll be fine. Oh, wow, look, a to be continued. How convenient. Alright, well, that one was pretty good. I don't want Susato to go. I don't really like Iris as much as Susato. And I feel like that's what it's setting us up for. It's setting us up for like a Iris buddy journey here. Because, you know, Sholmes isn't here, but she can do the same little mini game with us and all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see. What do I think is going on? Now, I don't know if I remember this or if I saw something about it, so pardon me if this is a spoiler I'm not supposed to know. But wasn't there something about spies going on? Wasn't there something about spies, potentially? I think that was the first trial, right? They were talking about somebody being a spy. The goose lady, what was her name again? Giselle Brett was a spy or something, maybe. I don't remember. But anyway, part of me wonders if maybe Susato is sort of in on that. Like, not that she's like all in all like a spy against Britain or something, but like, you know, that maybe she's there to gain information on certain things. Because like, I mean, yeah, send lawyers for sure. Judicial assistant all the way across the world? Part of me wonders if maybe she's even working for Strongheart. Like, the spy thing is like a joint effort. I don't know, but there's something big going on, apparently, which makes me think there's some sort of conspiracy. And also, Strongheart is so clearly evil. But maybe not. Maybe he's just supposed to be intimidating. I don't know. He has the Ace Attorney evil vibe of being being a high-ranking member of the police force. And also having, like, gray facial hair and, like, a suit. That's all it takes. Manfred von Karma, Damon Gant. I'm forgetting one of them, I think. Oh. Well, he had the suit. And like the same, I was gonna say Christoph Gavin, but no, not really. That's the one I was thinking of, though. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if there's some sort of crazy spy conspiracy. But that might be the second game, honestly. Because, I feel like this one's going to end with something to do with the festival. Or not festival, but you know what I mean, the fair. I think it's the Millennium Fair or something. Right? They talked about it with the bank robbery thing in the first part. I have no idea what's going on anymore. It's been a week since I played. But this should be an interesting trial. Alright, thanks for watching. I need to do some sort of comment thing, right? Do you like Iris? Just tell me in the comments if you like Iris. I mean, I feel bad for her, obviously. Dad is super dead. I don't even know what happened to her mom. Who knows? Maybe she'll show up in the final case like other Ace Attorney moms. Or, probably not. But she just, she doesn't quite have the charm that Pearls did, and most of that charm was because Pearls was so innocent, and yet she had like an evil stepmother, which is, pretty fun. Anyway, thanks again. Subscribe, like, Okay, bye-bye.